Three things Vegas taught me. Last week, I was traveling to Las Vegas for I call reference it as a marketing conference. It was Funnel Hacking Live 10. If you're in the digital world of online marketing funnels, you might know that. But for those people who are just normal human going on with their normal day life, I refer to it as a digital marketing conference. I learned or rediscovered three big things, and I want to share them with you in this video log, in this journal format of video tracking on of what's happening in my life in the pursuit of great life, of the life that I'm proud to be living and building. And I'm focusing on areas like self worth, like building myself up, transforming myself into a best version of a human I can be. We're all flawed, none of us are perfect, and truth be told, we all have a lot of areas to work on. And once you realize that, if you try and you embark on the journey of personal growth and improvement, there is no stopping. And this is actually one of the points I'm taking away from the last week's trip. So, a little bit of the trip, about the trip. I travel quite a bit. I do have a partner and a spouse. I do travel solo quite a bit. And it started 2019, 18, somewhere there, when I broke away from the multi level marketing company where I was a team member. I was a part of Beachbody. And being a part of Beachbody taught me the power of community and taught me a power of entrepreneurial spirit, even if it starts with a little bit of just a sparkle. And I learned a lot, but it wasn't quite a perfect fit, the multi level marketing or direct, no, what they call it. But multi level marketing is the actual term, right? So I branched out, realizing that there was more to the digital world where you could build your own business, create your own product or service, and market it to the world. My background is in marketing, so it was very appealing to me. So I started learning. I continued my education, started learning from online personalities, people who were in the industry. And one of those humans was Russell Brunson. I learned of him from my then business coach, Sarah Den. Hello to Sarah. She introduced me to actually quite a few personalities there. Different story another day. But the point is, I started following Russell Brunson in the online marketing world. One of the things I absolutely loved about that man and love and respect to this day, he is a very successful, very brilliant, best marketer that ever lived. He is known as. He is so humble and so kind and so down to earth. And he is so amazingly himself when he's on stage, when he's on podcast, when he's on YouTube. This time I got to meet him in person. And if you don't know him, that might not relate, but think of a human that you've watched from a distance, whether it's online or somebody maybe in your actual life, but you've never had a one on one communication. And you get the opportunity to just walk up to them and say, hey, I admire your work. May I take a picture? That's the case I had with Russell this past week. And I watched his work and I watched his family grow and just how he transformed or grew as a human, and his confidence grew and his success multiplied, but he remained kind and humble. It is such a cool thing to watch. So for me, true mastery is remaining, becoming the best version of you. It's like one part of the puzzle. And it was the last week's trip was such a good reminder. It was the fact that the mastery is in this combination of becoming the best version of you, but remaining you. So, yes, we want to show up online and our sales funnels, presentations, reel on Instagram as the best version of us, but remaining real. I've seen people on conference stages who show up like this one persona, and when you run into them in a hallway, it's like a completely different person. And for me, it's such an energy disconnect, and it's a massive turnoff. because it feels like lying, right? It feels like lying. And Russell is a person he's just as transparent and honest and kind and open and excited about life and work as he is on the podcast and in person. It's like, I don't know, it was very real. Another big one was Tony Robbins. I'm gonna do a whole separate video on that, a lot of stories there. But I get to see Tony Robbins in action in person at this conference, and the man is a legend. Again, if you've dipped your toes in the world of personal development and self improvement, you know Tony. He's the GOAT. He's a big known name. A lot of coaches, a lot of personalities in personal development and self improvement world learned from him, and a lot of people have been moved and transformed by Tony's work and his businesses. Love him, hate him, appreciate his height and depth of voice or not, but he is well respected and he has earned that reputation and respect. He was also so congruent. It's like so consistent. Like when you're down, swipe off and find Tony Robbins' video if you've never watched him or if it has been a while, and listen to how he talks and how he presents. He is an exact same man in person. Same charisma, same humor, same energy. And for me, it's like, how do you master yourself to the point of you don't have to turn that on? It just exists at a constant. You're this state. Tony talks a lot about being in the state or putting yourself in a state of being energized and being exuding confidence and positive energy. Like, what is the state you want to have so you can act from it? But for me, it was like the third. I'm starting from the end. The third point was true master in owning your state and being this person. And when I say state, I mean the person and the personality that you are. So when you turn it on, you don't have to turn it off because it's real. It just amplifies who you are. So if you're this beautiful, charismatic leader on stage, I'm not going to assume when I see in the hallway you're going to be this person talking shit about other humans and swearing and, being all scrunched up and this, ego driven, narcissistic human. Like, that's not it. It is so true and transparent, and they own the stage and they own the energy they exude, and it was just absolutely amazing. So for me, big takeaway was, as I'm building out this YouTube channel and coming back into the online world with having my face on camera and having my face on Instagram for a while, side story, for a while, I've run my Instagram profile since 2013, right? And I started in the fitness world, and if you scroll all the way back, you can see all those videos. And then life goes like this, right? That's the natural progression. It's not always going to be great. It's not always going to be up. And at some of those down points, I was like, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be the face of what I'm doing. I don't want to talk on camera. So I started thinking about like faceless channels, and I do love a reel that doesn't have voice, just has music and text. I think that's great. But YouTube really became like a personal challenge. It's like, I want to get good at it because I love talking. Ask my husband, I can talk 2 hours. Ask my friends, I can be chatty for hours. And I think it's a gift, but it's also a skill you can improve on. So you're captivating and you bring value and you get people to think differently and move differently and act differently. And I think it's the best feedback and a best payout when you can see the change that you create in other humans by that ripple effect of just becoming 1% better every day. So true mastery is being true yourself. That was my one of the 3 big points. The second one was personal growth is a multifaceted concept, phenomena. I'm a life student of learning, of improving, of developing, of reaching the new levels, of reaching the new depth. And I embarked on the journey of personal development and self-improvement. If you've been to my Unshakable events, you might have heard my story of, it came from the need of like get together my personal life. And that phase has passed, and like that area, that subject is closed and we moved on. But I remember having like a couple relationship back to back fail, and it was like, is it them or is it me? What's wrong with me? Why am I, why is there a pattern? And what is it that I want? And how do I want to show up for another person? And what I'm looking at? And I started digging into how to get better in relationships. And I was like, oh, you start getting better at being yourself. Oh, you start learn to like yourself. Find your value. Value. What is value? I thought the Prince Charming is gonna just whip me off my feet. And I went down this rabbit hole. And the beautiful thing that once I got that area sorted out, then it's like, and what about this and this? And then it's like fitness. I was obsessed with working out, but it was from a place of almost punishing myself. And then it's like, well, how do we do it from a healthy place? And then I rid myself of needing that external validation. I worked at a gym at a personal trainer and group instructor, and I loved, like, it was my high to teach a great class, 20, 30 people jumping around. Everybody's having exercise high. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. That was a great workout. I loved that. That was my personal reward. And then when I quit the gym, I missed it so much. And it's like, yes, I miss the exercise. I can find a gym to go work out at, or I can work out at home. But it's like, what is missing? That validation was missing. That feedback from a group was missing. So I started digging in. It's like, what are my motives to work out? Where it's coming from? And personal growth and self-improvement truly is my favorite type of a rabbit hole to get into. And the more you know and the more you learn about yourself, the more there is to learn, more there is to learn. It doesn't end. And it's a good thing and it's an addicting thing because it's like humans are fascinating. And you've never met a perfect human, and I've never met a perfect human, and neither one of us are going to become one of those. But the pursuit and that journey of improvement and the becoming the best version of yourself, not better than anybody else, not better because you're bad, not better because you need to be, but it's like, I want to be. What is my potential? How good can this get? And then you start playing with your disciplines and your mindset and your thought process and your actions and your goals. And it's like, there are so many facets to you as a human. And when we get out of that survival mode, if you've ever experienced hardships, trauma, challenges in your life, which that is a part of human condition, that's what happens to us. And once you step out of it, it's like when you settle in a little bit into a place, it's like, I'm doing okay. Let's look inside. Or maybe I am not doing okay. Let's look inside and see how we can get ourselves to at least see the situation differently. It's magic. And at this conference, that was one of my big takeaways. I've been there before. I've been to Vegas before. I've been to this conference before. I knew kind of what to expect, but still, it challenges me as a human on multiple levels. And it was so great. It's like after being on this journey of self improvement for over a decade, there was still so much to learn. There was still so much to improve. There were still so many areas of my personality, my persona, my individuality, like as a human being. So many areas I can continue to strive to improve and just tweak a little bit and see, what works, what doesn't. And there was so much knowledge, and yes, knowledge is an addiction, but learning something and then actually improving it, applying it and improving yourself, and then making things easier because you change your thought process, that's just a beautiful thing. And truly, my whole platform is based on self-improvement and personal development and personal discovery. Sorry about my voice, got a cold on the flight back. And I love it. I truly love it. And if you've dipped your toes into the world of personal improvement and you've seen some results, it is the best kind of addiction because you are this machine, this body, this brain you have is an amazing tool that you can optimize, you can improve your life, you can serve other people in so many ways. And those ripple effects, like your energy changes around you and you start creating change in humans around you, who surround you, who come in contact with you. And that is so beautiful. Like being able to touch another human being and affect their life in a positive way is like the best gift. So that was my second point. First was true mastery is owning yourself, who you are as a human, and being present in that capacity wherever you go and whoever you talk to, whether you're on screen or off screen. And then the fact, a reminder that personal growth is the best rabbit hole and you're never going to end and reach the end. You know, sometimes we have goals and it's like, I want this thing, I want this thing. And when you get this thing, it's like, oh, it's not as good as I wanted. Like, I didn't realize that's how it's going to feel. And now that I reached it, it's like, now what? Well, good news, the personal growth will never end. There will always be something to work on, to focus on, to improve, to experiment with, to try, to perfect, to improve, to change. It's like so cool. You know, they say that actually Tony Robbins' concept that you become happy and joyous not from achieving, but from the sense of progress, sense of direction is what gives us that sense of success and happiness. So when you know that you're on the journey, that you're on the direction somewhere, that makes you feel alive and happy and well. So commit, my ask of you, commit to the journey of self-improvement and self-development for nobody else but yourself, and you will see how much it will affect everybody around you and, of course, you yourself. And the third one, and it's almost obvious, but it's also a big topic for me, the power of the right community. There are so many cliches, as in, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. People, 5 people around you will, you know, hang out with 5 drunks, you'll be the sixth one. Hanging out with 5 obese people, you will be the sixth one. Hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll be the sixth one. Hang out with 5 divorced people, you'll be the sixth divorced person. You know, so like the concept is whoever is around you affect who you become. And we can talk about it more in depth, you know, whether you believe that concept or not. But I truly believe that we are human beings that are meant to be in a social circle. We're not meant to be alone or singled out. We're created as a human race to be a community. And even though screens bring us closer to each other, we also are as lonely as we've ever been. And I personally can vulnerably say I feel lonely on occasion because my childhood friends are miles away, half the world away. The friends I built when I moved into the state 20 years ago, you know, I've moved away 10 years ago. So that community was left behind. And yes, I stay connected with that group of friends, but it's not as close as being able to say, hey, let's go grab a coffee after work, or hey, let's go for a walk on Saturday morning, right? So those things are a little bit more challenging. And the older we get, the more difficult it is to I don't like the word difficult, but it is challenging to create new friendships, and it takes more effort, and we overthink that, and we think we're imposing, and we're not sure if people are going to be interested, and do we have the same common interests? So it gets a little bit convoluted. But when you get yourself in the right community and your right circle, it's like you can relax, you can exhale. I saw something recently that says there are your people and you feel like you don't have your people around you, you haven't found them yet. So keep looking. And I feel a little out of place in my current circle. My coworkers, nice people, but not my people. I can't talk about funnel hacking with them with excitement in my eyes and be understood. Nothing wrong with that for them. It's not their gig, right? It's not their passion. For me, it's like digital marketing, improving my life, influencing others, like doing things for the bettering of myself and others, elevating the standards, raising the bar. Like that's where I want to be. Telling women, it's like, if you feel their incline, if you feel the urge, that's proof. That's proof that you have a desire and a drive and you should go after it. And helping people give permission to dream and to do and go after bigger things and breaking out of the molds of the life that they think they were supposed to have. Like that fires me up. And I don't think I've ever had a big group of people who I could sit around and talk about things like that I have and had friends that are open to hear and receive that information. But outside of my community, my online community, my client base that I've created since I started this, building my platform, I don't think I've had that. And when I go to a conference like that, when it's like, those are my people. We're jumping around with the glow sticks for 40 minutes while Tony Robbins is getting ready to start his presentation. And he's late, and nobody's upset, and the music is jamming, and it's supposed to be a marketing conference. And we're having a party, and it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. And we're in Vegas, and nobody's walking out because the goat is here. And instead of 2 hour presentation, he's there for 4. And we started at 8:30 in the morning and we finished at 7:30 in the morning. I grabbed a bite and went to the airport to catch my red eye. So it's like, it's the crazy crowd, but it's my kind of crazy. And to one side, I have a guy who is, one woman who is a business medium from Colombia, and on the other side, it's a guy who makes, who has business selling creatine, and he's like 25 and makes $1,000,000 a month. And so it's like the mix of people and the business variety and the income levels. And that was another cool thing that Tony actually said, that he said we're all equal souls, but we're not all equal in the marketplace. And I thought that was so great. Again, it's a side story when we can think about it. But it's like, it's humans, we're all humans. We're all humans, but we're not all equal. We're talking about business world and earning potential, right? So we're not all equal in the marketplace, but I can rephrase it. It's like, we're not all equal in the socioeconomic groups and hobby groups and interest groups. So when I meet a person, I respect you, I see you, you're a human being, I get you. But finding those humans, those souls that are like pumped for the same things that you're pumped and excited about things that you're excited, it is magic. Anyways, that was my 3 big takeaways. And for you, if you're listening, it's like, okay, what are we talking about? Own who you are and be yourself unapologetically and without pretending and putting on a mask. Big thing. Commit to personal growth and self-improvement. It's the best journey you'll go on. It will never end, and it's a beautiful thing. The trajectory of progress is never ending, but so many great milestones along the way. And find your people. Maybe it's this community. Maybe we build a great, group of humans that we hang out on a channel like this and chat in the comments, and we get back together into a room and have a conference, a day event like we've done before. Or maybe I'm not your person. Maybe you keep moving and you look for somebody else, and then you hear somebody talk about things that set your soul on fire, and you're like, they get me. Those are my people. Stick around, get to know them. Get a little weird and ask people to be friends and have a conversation. And whether it lasts or not, that's not that important. But a sense of belonging is a beautiful thing. And we all are built to belong. And if you don't feel like you do right now, I promise you there are people out on the interwebs in real life that get who you are and get things that you are excited about. So don't give up looking.